Election season will be here sooner than you think, and it's time to get registered to vote if you haven't already.
Yeah, joining us to share the details about their voter registration drive happening this Sunday, we have Calvin and Dr. John Tolbert. Good morning. Thanks for being here with us, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Okay, so let's get right into it. Tell me the significance of the Divine Nine being a part of this effort.
Yeah, this is a historical moment for us. We've got the Divine Nine, which means the Black Greek organizations coming together for a voter registration drive in 3 locations in the southwestern part of Michigan. One, Pontiac, with Dr. Don Tolbert as the pastor, and Ypsilanti with Dr. Avery Brown, and Detroit with Dr. Quantez Presley at Third New Hope. So the Divine Nine, and we're coming together to have a voter registration drive at 3 churches to make sure the community knows the importance of this election cycle.
Dr. Tolbert, I'm curious, how maybe apathetic are people to voting? Is it hard to get them to register? Is it quite a chore on your part, or are people like willing to do this?
Well, it's still a difficult task. It's been a difficult task. This is nothing new. But the Black church is still the voice of the African American community, and I still think a trusted voice in the community. And so combining the two together has been favorable, specifically for us in times past. Specifically with high school seniors. High school students coming out of high school, making sure that one of the first things they do is register to vote has been very prosperous for us.
Yeah, that's smart. You know, if you get them at a young age,
That's
you
right.
create good habits, right?
Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed.
And with the combination of the Black church and then also the Divine Nine, you're mobilizing even more Black people, Black voters. And Calvin, you said you brought this effort to the state.
Yes, so just relocated back to Michigan within the last 5 months. And I saw the historical deficit of African Americans voting or getting registered to vote, specifically Black men. And so I thought that what can we do to come together to bring the consciousness, to raise the consciousness of the importance of voter registration. And so I got with some of the folks I went to college with. I went to, he went to Western Michigan. We graduated in the same area 25 years ago, and we've been friends ever since. And so I teamed up with some folks to bring this consciousness back.
That's nice. You've been friends ever since and voting ever since, I
Yeah,
hope as well,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Exactly. Okay, so, Doctor, what do people need if they want to register? What kind of identifications do they need?
Just simple ID. You don't need a driver's license, you just need identification, which is normal for any, if you're in high school, you've got a high school identification, or if you're a voter's not a voter's registration card, but any type of photo ID will be sufficient for voters registration.
So it's really as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. Regardless of what people hear on the news or on the street in conversation, these are all misnomers that we're trying to correct.
What has the conversation been like between you two and then others also helping with this effort? I'm pretty sure you guys have some powerful conversations in those rooms when planning this kind of thing.
This has been the most dynamic movement that I've been a part of. So you have the whole Divine Nine coming together. So you've got undergraduate chapters, you've got graduate chapters, you've got everyone. You got the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha, Delta Sigma Theta. I mean, the brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi. Every group that is a mainstay in the college campuses coming back to be leaders in our community, and that's what we're called to do. We're called to be community service organizations, and we're doing that again.
You know, a lot of times we hear younger people really don't care if they vote or not. Now, you're involved in getting them to register. You mentioned already out of high school, that's what you try to do. But when you talk to these students and the younger people, do you find they are excited to vote? Do you find they are taking an interest in politics?
I would say the younger they are, yes. Those who've matriculated into community and have not, no. But the younger individual is more excited to vote because they've been waiting on opportunity to participate in the democratic process. And so, you know, again, the younger that we can get them, the better our chances are to keep them in the voting lane.
And in Detroit specifically, there have been a number of elections this year, and so there's some voter fatigue. Why would you say it's so important? We have a presidential election ahead of us. Why is it so important to get people out to vote?
You just said it. This is one of the most important elections that we've seen in the last 40 years. And it's so critical that we make it normal to be involved in the political process. And the one thing I want to share is, as leaders, we've got to show the younger people how important it is to us. So we win them with our leadership, and we show them with our commitment to being a change agent in the community.
And regardless to whatever they're going to do in the future, community is going to be important. And so voting is about community. It's certainly tagged and coupled with the presidential election, but in each city, there are different things that will be on the ballot that are germane to those respective communities that people will never talk about globally, but they are germane specifically to those respective communities. And I think that it would be a disservice to our community as a whole if we did not push voters registration, regardless of voter fatigue, regardless of the apathy of people not wanting to vote. It's still a necessity.
All right, where's the first voter registration drive happening? When and where? Tell people where to go.
May 5th, this Sunday, we have 3 locations, and I'll start with your location if you can give.
Trinity Missionary Baptist Church in Pontiac, Michigan, 123 Weston Street from 12 to 5.
Third New Hope Church, Baptist Church in Detroit, and Whitehead Cathedral in Ypsilanti.
All right, those are locations.
From 12 to 5, come out. We'll be providing refreshments and
all outside.
All outside. And one of 3 things. This is the first phase of a 3-phase approach.
All right, well, gentlemen, thanks a lot for sharing all the information about the drive. I'm sure it will be a big congregation down there.
Thank you.